Do too many people have a security clearance? Obviously, there has been a ton of chatter in the news this week about the latest episode of somebody having classified information in their home or desk drawers or somewhere they aren't supposed to have it. Joe Biden coming under some scrutiny for that. Mike Pence wanted to be in the cool club, I guess. I feel like he's just always just one step behind on those things. But anyway, everybody who doesn't have classified information in their drawer, I've gotten, again, this is when my mom starts to call me and ask me what I do for a living. My name is Lindy Kaiser, Director of Content with clearancejobs.com. My answer anytime this kind of question comes up is no. We don't have too many people with a security clearance. The numbers that get populated, an article on the site that we have that talks about the latest OD&I report on the overall security clearance population, which I think was the last publicly released report was 2017. So I would love to see a newer report, but that had 1.2 million people with the top secret security clearance. More recent reports that have come out have kind of shown the overall cleared population around 4.7 approximately million people with a security clearance. That number seems high. There's 330 some million people in the United States. 4 million is the eligible population. If you take that even as a segment saying the military is approximately 1 million people, all officers, many enlisted service members have a security clearance. And that also ties into some other numbers that we talk about in clearance jobs. There's people who have eligibility for a security clearance. We want that number to be people who might need to know state secrets or classified information. That is a good thing. And then there's the in-access population, which we've been covering, has been steadily going down. So it shows the government does care about who has access to cleared and classified information, and it is not giving eligibility or access to people who don't need it. So we don't see a lot of the number of overall people that are using their security clearances continually going up. We have those two numbers: folks who have eligibility, who might need to access a security clearance or use it, and the folks who are currently using it. Shows you the government is keeping track of this. Is the U.S. system perfect? No, but I was recently in DC for a talk, and it was just kind of a good time to get a refresher on how we forget that other countries are not necessarily doing this. Sometimes we forget that other countries have a very different system set up. I would not want to be in the UK, although love you guys there, and have their kind of specific system around state secrets, and a lot more intrusive of a vetting process for personnel over there. Also wouldn't want to be in the position Japan is right now, kind of figuring out how to create a new system. They have one that's specific to DoD, but they do not have a clearance program for their industry over there. And as we know, critical infrastructure industry getting hit very heavily, it is very important to have a system of vetting and clearing personnel. And I do think the US does a fairly decent job of it. We are not perfect, but this is the government. If you want perfection, it's not going to be in government. So there is a lot of good lessons to be learned. I think continuous vetting, rolling out across the entire population is such a good program, and is such a success story in this process. So there's a lot of good things about the U.S. Personnel Security Program. Yes, there are a lot of issues. Keep in mind the people that we're talking about with the issues now are all politicians who don't go through the same traditional vetting process that the average candidate or applicant does. They are also a lot more likely to have things printed off for them, because we just are, a lot of our systems for the average cleared population is accessed through a SIPRnet, through a computer. Having our secure technology is really important. Most people aren't walking around with a ton of paper classified documents. And I think a lesson learned from this is maybe, hey, how can we limit this? And again, especially for political offices, how do we have a better system for keeping track of what is being printed, who's getting it, and why in the heck they are taking it back to their homes or residence, and what reasons there are behind that. So again, overall, the cleared population, yes, approximately 4 million people do have some form of security clearance in the United States. No, I don't think that number is too high, and there are two separate numbers at play. Again, we have the overall people who are eligible and those who are in access. The in access number is just around 2 million. So 2 million people, and then consider service members, military, industry, critical infrastructure, the intelligence community. That's all of our intelligence agencies. That number I do not think is too high. And do you want people over cleared and overqualified for their position or under? I would tend to vote making sure folks have the most thorough vetting that we can get for the eligibility of access that they need. So for more on this, learn all about security clearances and all the latest security clearance hot topics over at clearancejobs.com.